So the trends here. So when I first started preparing this presentation for you all, it was President Biden versus President Trump. But it looks like almost in this picture, he's kind of pointing to Kamala Harris, isn't he? So, we have we have the duo of the Biden-Harris administration. So we know the prospects of having a Harris administration is going to be very similar in many ways to how immigration has looked under President Biden. And then we have really a stark contrast with President Trump. Both of them have, just brought these different, very different philosophies, I guess you could say, related to immigration. And it's important for you all to know about that, right? Because we're coming into this election year. And, under the Biden administration, it has certainly been more encouraging, at least when it comes to legal immigration. There's been some very good STEM-related policies, widening who can apply for STEM OPT, widening the possibility of self-petitioned or even employer-sponsored green card processes for those who were in the STEM fields. And we know that under President Trump, it was maybe more of a restrictionist type of immigration regime. There were a lot of higher rates of denials and requests for evidence in the H-1B context. At some point, it was 21%, 24% denial rates for H-1Bs. And that has typically been in the single digits, and it has been in the Biden presidency as well. There were other types of travel bans and restrictions of that sort as well. So, I know there's been some, and you and I were talking about this, Ryan, of some conversations I think that President Trump had with on a podcast, and I wanted to try to address it. I think it was something like, if you graduate from college, you should automatically get a green card attached to sort of your diploma, right? And I think that the message I would have for you all is to judge more the actions, not the words, right? And that's really more of the measure of a person. And that was a podcast where he was talking to venture capitalists and who were looking to get highly skilled talent to the US. So, I think it was maybe more lip service that was given in the moment, because we know that it's been more restrictionist, and he has surrounded himself with those that, are more restrictionist in terms of their thinking. They just want to limit immigration altogether. So just be mindful of that. Now, I will say, regardless, right? Regardless of these different philosophies on immigration, there are real challenges in this country, things that really would see a huge boost from more immigration into the U.S. One of the things that I'll just say, offhand, is that we have a very low unemployment rate right now. When President Biden came in, it was about 6.3, and now it's 4.1 unemployment. And there are very large shortfalls. The Federal Reserve said this in 2022, that there is a shortfall because of a plunge in net immigration at that time. And it is also something that's been felt very dramatically in the Midwest part of this country, where you have Republican governors. This is back in 2023, 2 Republican governors who were asking for the ability for their states to be able to sponsor immigration directly, right? Have a state-sponsored immigration. There was very recently, if you think that that's already dated, there was recently a conference of mayors where they put together a resolution asking for heartland visas. They know that in particular areas, right, outside of the big metropolitan areas, they are losing, their population's decreasing. There's stagnant economics, and they really need the revitalization and the dynamic just growth that immigration can supply and entrepreneurialism can supply. So regardless of the philosophy, this really isn't going away, and it's not just a U.S. problem; it's a global problem, and that's why there's a lot of competition also. For you all, there's competition in different countries and things of that sort too. And so that's why we're so hopeful that, we will have very good common sense policies. that really align with economic realities in this country. And we'll really see what results from the election. You know, it is certainly possible. I don't want to be all a naysayer about what a President Trump administration might look like. It's possible that something, you know, that there could be some nod to where we really have great need in this country. And, you know, we're seeing that in various industries as well, including the healthcare industry. So I just want to mention that to you all. There's a Think Immigration piece that I had put out that was related to this as well. It is called The Unchanging H-1B Cap in a Changed Country. It's from the Think Immigration blog that the American Immigration Lawyers Association puts out. And it has a lot of that context. It was something that I wrote last year. The other thing is many of you maybe have been aware of different layoffs that have happened in the tech industry. And while I don't claim to be an economist, you know, my understanding is a lot of this had to do with overhiring during the pandemic. I wouldn't myself perceive it as a trend that you will see far into the future. I think it's more of a rebalancing than anything. And I think that a lot of these shortfalls are going to really remain, and there's going to be the need for common sense immigration in this country.